Hello everybody and welcome to Tosso Show. Today we're going to finish the PlayStation Now in memoriam episode, because today we're going to talk about the last games that are available, and I hope that I can finish it on time in approximately 30 minutes for all the rest of the library alphabetical order. So you see that we're going to start from SO up to Z of the alphabet. Well, SO, which is part of S, but S we cut it in two because there's so many games in S. And I'm really excited to finish this, and I also wanted to say that I'm very excited to see what the PlayStation Plus Premium will be like. My hope is that it's not going to lose any of the games that are here, or minimally lose games, but we'll see where it goes. In any case, I hope that those videos will help you understand what used to be PlayStation Now before it becomes PlayStation Plus Premium. Alright, let's say our goodbye properly to PlayStation Now by starting with this first game that is here. Saltner X2 Final Prototype. I have no clue what it is. Seems to be like a shoot 'em up maybe. Anyway, never played this one. Saltner X Himmelsstürmer. Yeah, it's a shoot 'em up. Okay. Never played this one either. Soma. Soma is actually a pretty famous game. It's done by that well, it is not written here, but there's a team that is named Bloopers or something like that. They're the ones that created the Medium, which is a game that I did a game preview about. I didn't do Soma, but I really want to try. It's kind of like a horror game, psychological horror as far as I'm aware. Soul Axiom. I don't know what this one is, but yeah, I cannot know from here either, unfortunately. Maybe an action game? Then Soul Calibur 6. This one is within the ones that will stay on PlayStation Plus. I would be very surprised if it didn't stay, because it was just added in May 2022. So it would have been really weird if it didn't have it after that, after just a month. And you can see Soul Calibur 6 has special characters, and here they show Geralt from The Witcher. And to be honest, I never played Soul Calibur 6. I know about it, obviously. It's a fighting game. It's a very famous fighting franchise. I love Soul Blade / Soul Edge, wherever you are from. You may understand when I say Soul Blade, but you may understand as well when I say Soul Edge instead. And I did play the Soul Calibur that is on Xbox 360, one of them. I think it's Soul Calibur 4. Yeah, I think it's Soul Calibur 4. I need to check that back. Never played the 6 before. Next is Sound Shapes. I don't know what that is, but it's a game that is actually published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, so hopefully it will be there. It seems to be a rhythm game, or something that is related to music. Next, we have Space Ace. Very similar to Dragon Lairs, Space Ace is another version of a famously designed Don Bluth's game, where basically it's a QTE game, but it's a very hard QTE game. I want to try it one of these days. I really love the design style. Like Don Bluth does amazing design. I think Don Bluth is the one that did also Fever, if I'm not wrong. Fever, which was something that I really loved, and that I should definitely play a game preview of the Fever games that was on the SNES, a platformer game. But anyway, I never played the Space Ace. Next is Sparkle 2. I don't know what Sparkle 2 is about. It seems to be a puzzle game. Sparkle Unleashed. Yeah, it seems to be a puzzle game. Alright, Spec Ops The Line. I heard a lot of things about Spec Ops The Line. I know it's an FPS, but I also know that it has a very interesting story because the character is just special. And I'm very curious to play it just to see that psychological aspect of the game. But yeah, I never played it. Alright, next Spelunker SG. So Spelunker is that famous game where you just are... It's kind of like a platformer. And I think that you have to avoid a bunch of things here and there and continue to just go down the mine or something like this. Anyway. And here's Spelunky, similar. It's a platformer where you have to continue to go down and down and down, if I'm not wrong. Then we have Split Second. It's a racing game, I never played it either. Seems to be an action racing game. Square Heroes, no clue about what it is. Probably some kind of simulation or maybe puzzle game. Star Raiders. Wait, this one. Looking at the thing, it looks like a shoot 'em up, but I'm not sure. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. So I never played this one. It's a PlayStation 2 game. Oh, I hope we're not gonna lose it. I don't know much about that Star Wars. Probably an action game. Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. I always heard very great thing about that franchise, The Force Unleashed, which was done by LucasArts. It's an action game, and it seems pretty fun from what I saw in the past, but I never played it. Star Wars The First Unleashed an Ultimate Thief Edition, so that's the first game. Star Wars Jedi Starfighter. PlayStation 2 game, but I don't really know much about this one. Probably kind of like a shoot 'em up in the sort because it's Starfighter. Star Wars Racer Revenge. Probably in this case a racing game. Because on Star Wars Episode 1 there is some kind of racing moment in the story. So I assume that it's related to this. Star Drone, no clue about what that game is, but it says that it's arcade pinball, so it must be a pinball kind of game. Okay. Starhawk, never heard of this one, it's a third-person shooter. Never played it. Star Wall. Star Wall? I don't know how you say that. Anyway, it's narwhal fights in space. Okay. Steep, which is a Ubisoft game. It's a skiing game. I never played it. Stick It to the Man, which is a puzzle game, I think. I never played it, but I'm interested to try. Stranded Deep, which apparently is about survival, but I don't know if you're the humans or if you're the sea creatures. I don't know. Maybe one or the other, or maybe both. Who knows? Alright. Next is Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Online Edition. I never played Street Fighter 3, so I cannot tell you much about it, but this one is the latest version of Street Fighter 3, and I know that Street Fighter 3 didn't have that much success. Maybe because it was too similar to any other 2D fighting game of the time, but yeah, I don't know. Strider, which is an action game in a sort, side-scrolling action game. That seems really cool, I really need to play it one of these days. Strike Suit Zero Director's Cut. Oh, interesting. It's a mecha game. Kind of like Zone of the Enders. I should try it out one of these days too. Strong Bad. So there's multiple of those games because there's like 5 episodes, I think. This one is episode 1, Homest. Strong Bad, cool game for attractive people. It's done by Telltale. It's a point-and-click adventure game. I never played this one, but I would be interested to see how it looks like because that's one of the first one. So this one is episode 2. This one is episode 3. This one is episode 4. And finally, this one is episode 5. Then we have Styx, Shards of Darkness. It's kind of like a stealth action game as far as I'm aware. I'm curious to try it one of these days. I never played it before. Super Dungeon Bros. I don't have much clue about this one either, but it seems that you play with with heavy metal heroes. Interesting. It's like an action game with rock themes. Could be fun to play, who knows. Super Mega Baseball. Didn't play this one. It's a sports game, a baseball game, as far as I'm seeing here. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. So I did play the PlayStation version of this game and I loved it on PlayStation. I found it very cool. It's a puzzle game. Very simple puzzle game with characters mostly from Street Fighter, but there's also people from Darkstalker in it. Because you can see in the background there's kind of hidden, there's I don't know how you say her name, Yesko, something like that. Anyway, it's a cool game. I liked it, but I never did a game preview so far of it. I should. Super Stacker Party. I never played this game. It seems to be some kind of puzzle game. Super Star Wars. Actually, Super Star Wars, I did play it on Super Nintendo or Super NES. It was a fun game. It was really well done. I really liked it. Kind of like the Indiana Jones that they did as well, and that was from LucasArts. Well, obviously here it's written Disney because Disney own LucasArts nowadays. But that being said, I'm curious about how it looks like on PS4. Obviously it will be the 2D and all that stuff, but I'm sure there must be some special thing here and there to enhance it in certain ways. One day we should try it. Hopefully it's not gonna stop it. Let's see. Yeah. Obviously PlayStation Now app is not the greatest app. Yeah, it's far from it, as you can see. And I really hope that we do a better job on a lot of things. I think we have a lot of great games, it's just that there's a lot of problem with their system. It doesn't even have a Mac version, you can only play on PC. There's no version on mobile, like Xbox is killing PlayStation in this war here on cloud gaming. And that's sad because PlayStation Now exists for a very long time. It's too bad that we didn't really make it better over the years. Anyway, Super Stardust Ultra. That seems to be some kind of... Yes, shoot them up. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. I did play it on my PlayStation 3. It's Super Street Fighter 2, just with a little bit of change here and there. That's all. And Super Street Fighter 2 is a great game. I prefer the... Funnily enough, I still prefer the original Turbo. But this one has obviously those extra characters like Camille and... I forgot the name of the other one. Anyway. Next is Super Time Force Ultra. It's an action platformer. I think this one was not that long ago, so there's a chance that it will still be there, but I don't remember seeing it on the list. Super Toy Cars. Huh? I never heard of this one. Racing game. It seems to have a cool little design from Surgeon Simulator A&E Anniversary Edition. I never played Surgeon Simulator. I know about it. It seems to be an interesting game, especially for people that actually really want to know more about, you know, being a surgeon. If it says real things, very soon. Surviving Mars, which I guess is more like a simulation game. I never played it, but I have it on multiple platforms. I should probably try it one of these days. Siberia. So that is a game from Sokal, if I'm not wrong. Bob Sokal? No. What's his name? Oh my god. Bernard? Anyway, it's from somebody that actually does a lot of very interesting comics and games. I never played any of them, for I never read any of them too, and I need to. And Siberia is really was I really wanted to try. It's a point and click adventure game. Siberia 2, which is a sequel. Okay, you can see quickly I'm gonna open this. I don't say. Alright, let's go to the next. Oh, that's it for VS. And we did 17 minutes, so hopefully we can finish the rest pretty fast. Alright, let's go to the T. On T we have Tabletop Racing World 2, which seems to be a racing game. Tashion Project, action-packed dual-stick shooter. Okay, so that's a shooter game driven by a story. Okay. Tales from Space, about a Blob premium bundle. Side-scrolling puzzle platformer. I think it's an indie game that was known because it was kind of fun, but I'm not sure, I never played it. Tales from Space, Mutant Blobs Attack. Some kind of similar game. Tales of Zestiria, which is one of the Tales of game, which is an RPG. I never actually played any of the recent Tales of. The only Tales of I played is Tales of Fantasia, which is the original game, and I played it on the original Super NES version. And I think I briefly played Tales of Destiny because I got it on PlayStation for a brief amount of time. But that's about it. I don't remember playing any of the other, even though I always wanted to play Tales of Symphonia that I have available. So I should probably do it one of these days. Next is Tearaway Unfolded. This one will be available on PlayStation Plus. It's a game from Sony, so that's why. It's a very fun game. I played it for maybe an hour or two. That's when I started really to play with the PlayStation Now, a few years back. And yeah, it's really fun. I liked it. It's a platformer with very cute design and some interesting concept, so I would recommend it to everyone. Next is Tekken 7, which is a fighting game, and it's Tekken. That's what Tekken is. I guess I can say this. Thanks to Tekken, 3D fighting became very famous. Let's say it this way. Although, to be fairly honest, it's very similar to Virtua Fighters, and I don't know if Virtua Fighter. I think Virtua Fighters came out first. Anyway, it seems that Tekken 2 will be available as a PS Classic on PS Plus Premium. I don't remember seeing Tekken 7 from Then we have Tekken Tag Tournament 2. The Tekken Tag Tournament tried to become... not try to become, let's say it differently. Tekken Tag Tournament 2, from my understanding, is a fighting game where you have multiple people versus multiple people. It's not just a 1 versus 1 in this case. Tennis in the face, so it must be a tennis game. Well, it must have some kind of interesting story because it has an interesting name. Terraria! Yes, Terraria was available on PlayStation Now. I never played Terraria, I should. It seems to be like a survival platformer game when you think about it. But I do believe that it will be back on PS Plus. Tetraminos, which is a Tetris game, kind of. Cannot be named Tetris because Tetris is a Nintendo brand. The Awakened Fate Ultimatum, probably an RPG, yeah, it's a roguelike RPG. It's too bad I wasn't able to play any of those RPGs from NIS, from Nippon-Ichi Software. I always wanted to try most of those, but we'll just not have the time. The Book of Unwritten Tales 2, which is a point-and-click adventure game as far as I'm aware. It seems to be pretty fun, I really want to try it one of these days. The Bug Butcher, which is a 2D side-scrolling shoot them-up game. The Darkness. It's a first-person horror game, I never played it. But it seems that it has an interesting system because it seems that your character can control shadows and you can fight with it or stuff like that, if I'm not wrong. Anyway. And there's a sequel, Darkness 2, which you can see here is available as well. The Dear God. Pixel art adventure game. It looks really cute here. Never played it before. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It's a role-playing game, famous because it's the Elder Scrolls franchise. I never played it. I'm wondering what we're gonna do with all those Bethesda. I'm wondering if we're gonna keep it or if it's just gonna disappear because now it's owned by Microsoft. Who knows? The Elder Scrolls Online. They have the Elder Scrolls Online here available as a multiplayer RPG. To be fairly honest, the Elder Scrolls Online is on every single cloud platform, nearly. I know that it's on Stadia, for example, Google Stadia. Okay, the Guided Fate Paradox, which is another RPG for them. It's not really needed. Next, we have the Keeper of 4 Elements. I never tried this one. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is about. Probably a simulation game. The King of Fighters 30. You know, the King of Fighters is a game that I always wanted to play from SNK. Is that SNK? Yeah, it is, right? Anyway, it's owned now by Sega. And it seems to be a really cool 2D fighting game. I need to try it one of these days. The Last Blade 2 from SNK, which is also... Is it a fighting game? I don't remember. Yeah, I think it's a fighting game. The Last Guy. Don't know much about this. It seems that you're a survivor, so I assume it's more a simulation game. The Last of Us Left Behind standalone. So here's the thing that is interesting, is that the ways that they did it on PlayStation Now is that they cut The Last of Us, the game, from The Last of Us Left Behind, the DLC. So you have to use this. I did do a game preview of The Last of Us Left Behind a long time ago. Last year. But I need to play it. I never finished it, but I'm curious about doing it one of these days. The Last of Us, the original The Last of Us, it's the PlayStation 3 version, it's not the remastered. Now the questions that I have is this. PlayStation Plus apparently still have The Last of Us and The Last of Us Left Behind as standalone. So my gut call is telling me that the PlayStation Plus Premium will have once again that same version. Although it's also written that PS Plus will have The Last of Us Remastered. So does that mean we're gonna have the free things on PS Plus Premium? I don't know, I hope so, because I really want to play the remastered version more than actually playing those two versions. Alright, let's go to The Last Tinker, City of Colors. So Last Tinker, actually, let's go back quickly to The Last of Us. One quick thing I wanted to say is that yes, I finished the game a while back. It's one of those few action survival horror game, I guess we can say survival horror, that I did finish that is not a classic survival horror. And you know, I think it's a good game, but I don't know if it's as good as a lot of people say it is. But I get it. It's a beautiful game and there's a lot of great things happening in the game, but anyway. The Last Tinker, City of Colors. So this is a platformer. I never played it. Then next, The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel, which is an RPG game. I always heard very good stuff about this Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. So I need to play it one of these days. The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 2, so the sequel. Then, the Lego Movie video game. Everything is awesome! Anyway, I assume it's just a classic Lego game, like the usual, kind of like adventure game slash open world slash whatever. The Metronomicon, Slay the Dance Floor. It's a music rhythm game as far as I'm aware. I need to play it one of these days, seems really fun. The Raven, Legacy of a Master Thief. This one is some kind of point and click adventure game, I think, or something similar to that. Funnily enough, they have the Raven Remastered here also available. So that's why I'm hoping we do the same with The Last of Us. Anyway, The Secret of Monkey Island Special Edition. I did a game preview not that long ago about this. And it's the Secret of Monkey Island. It's fun. It's a fun point and click adventure game. I don't know if it's good to play it with a controller. I still think it's better to play it with a mouse. But overall it's pretty well done. I think it's not as good as the second game. And even this remastered I don't think is as good as the second game. It looks kind of weirdish, and I don't like the fact that we used Guybrush strip food on the side here, but from the second episode. You know, that's not right. Alright, then the Sly collection from Sly Cooper, all the Sly Cooper games. I actually didn't see it on the PS Plus list so far, so my hope is that we still have it, but it would be sad if it was Sly Cooper. It's like a classic platformer game, which for me is very similar to Ratchet and Clank. When I think about Ratchet and Clank, I think about Sly Cooper and vice versa. Anyway. The Spectrum Retreat. I don't know what that game is about. I saw it in a lot of places. It seems to be a puzzle game. I'm actually curious one of these days to try it. Alright, The Surge 2, which is the second episode of The Surge. The Surge, I think, is kind of like an open world, action open world game, as far as I'm aware. I think. Anyway, it could be fun to play one of these days. But Technomancer. Never played this one either. I don't know what it is about, but it seems to be more like an action game. The Treasure of Montezuma 4. It seems to be those kind of game like those adventure game. It's like you're in a book or something. Anyway. The Turing Test. I always wanted to play this game. It seems to be a first-person puzzle game similar to things like Portal and all that. I don't know. It seems interesting to me, but I never played it. I have it on a lot of other platforms, so probably I can play it from those other platforms. The Undergarden. I don't know what is the Undergarden, but I like the style. It looks like a good style, but who knows. So it's some kind of puzzle game. The Unfinished One. So I did finish that game, and that's the no, that's not. Is it the only game that I finished from PS Now? I played it 100% with PS Now, which is really cool. And I think this game is pretty fun because when you start, you have to use ink in order to actually understand where to go next. And the whole gameplay on that concept of, okay, you don't know much about your environment and you have to use certain tricks in order to see your environment. And it looks really, really cool. And the story is interesting. I think it's said in a very smart way. So a good recommendation. Maybe I can do a game preview of that one of these days. It's also available now on Epic, by the way. Alright, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. I always wanted to play this game. That story-driven mystery game in first person. I really need to do it. It looks really interesting. The Witch and the 100 Nights Revival Edition. That is a NIS game. So Nipponichi software. I think this one is a tactical RPG. I think. And it looks cool, so hopefully one of these days I can play it. Next, The Wolf Among Us, and that's a bundle of the 5 episodes. That game is fantastic. It's within one of the best from Telltale. If you ask me on Telltale, because I finished quite a few Telltale games and I need to do that again. The Wolf Among Us is probably the best, the second best, or the third best. I had to think about that. But it's really good. The Tales of Borderlands may be a bit better to me, but I'm not sure actually. The Walking Dead can be at the same level the first Walking Dead. Or better, I don't know. But this one, the style of the Wolf Among Us is fantastic. I didn't do a game preview about it, but I did have a no commentary game preview of it a long time ago. Anyway, highly recommend playing this game because it's amazing. It's more an adventure game first, so you don't do much really. There's some cutie here and there, and you just follow the story most of the time. Alright, this is The Police. I never played this one, but it looks interesting, kind of like a simulation game. This War of Mine, The Little Ones. So here's the interesting thing is that I don't know if this is just a DLC of the original game or if it's a complete separate game. But I heard always pretty interesting thing about this War of Mine, but I don't know if it's too depressing for me to play. It's kind of like a survival sort. Thomas Was Alone, amazing platformer game. I really love Thomas Was Alone. I think that even if the design is a little bit simple, the light effects in the game are beautiful and makes the game looks good. The story, the way it's narrated looks really good, and the music is amazing. The gameplay is great and fun. I really like it. I really do. I never did a game preview, but one of these days I will. It's one of those games that I finished as a platformer, and I'm really glad I did it. Alright, next, Through the Darkest of Times. That's a game that was added very recently, so I think it's still on PS Plus once it's gonna change to PS Plus. So don't worry about having it gone. I don't really know what it is about. I need to check it out. It looks more like an adventure game. But it does say a strategy game, so it may be a mix. This one is actually available now on Stadia because we just make it a Stadia Pro game in June 2022. Alright, next, Thunder Wolves. Seems to be an helicopter game. Next, Tiny Brains. Cooperative puzzle game. Okay. Next, Tokyo Jungle. This one is on PS Plus. It's gonna be back. It seems interesting because you have to play as an animal in Tokyo and it's a post-apocalyptic world. It looks interesting. I just don't know what I think about it, but it seems to be well done too, so why not? Why not trying it one of these days? Torment, Tides of Numenera. I think it's an RPG game. I never played it before, but it seems interesting. Toho Genso Rondo. Bullet Ballet. Well, it's a Toho game, so it's definitely was Don Patchy style of game. So, yeah. So it's a Danmaku basically. Oh, but this one says it's a one-on-one fighting game. Interesting. So I guess it's like a shoot 'em up, but just one versus another person. Alright, Toho Scarlet Curiosity, which apparently is an action RPG made by fans of the Toho universe. Interesting. Toho has really cool music, by the way. You should try to listen to it if you never did. Tokiden 2 seems to be an action game. Tokiden Kiwami, action game, and Kiwami, well, I guess it means origin, first, remaster, I don't know. Toy Home, a car racing game. Toy Story Mania, which, I don't know what kind of game is that. If it's supposed to be that 4D Toy Story Mania in the California Adventures Disneyland, it's definitely an FPS. Some kind of FPS. Fun FPS, obviously, because it's Toy Story. Trash Panic. Huh. I never heard of that game. Apparently a puzzle game. Tricky Towers. Apparently a puzzle game as well, where you create towers and it has to be stable. Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince. So Trine is some kind of 2.5D platformer game. It looks really cool and you can switch between characters because each character has their special ability, I think. And that is the original Trine. Trinity, Souls of Zeal All. Huh. I don't know what kind of game it is. Probably an RPG or probably an action RPG from what it's written. Alright, Tron Run R. Probably a racing game. Action Adventure Runner. Okay. Tron Evolution. Action game. Tron is an interesting franchise out of Disney. The first one is really bizarre, but it's different and that's why it's lovable. And then we created that other Tron years later I didn't find as interesting personally. Alright, I lost the thing because PlayStation now decided to have a problem with me staying on something. Yeah, this last video will be longer than the rest. My apologies about that. I knew that I couldn't do everything because of the SMT being so long, but oh well. I promise we'll do all of them, so we're gonna do all of them, even if it's 1 hour video. Alright, next is Tropico 5, which is a strategy game, like how do you name that? Like Populous and stuff like that. Truck Racer, never played this, but apparently you played the trucks. And that's it for the tease. Alright, let's go to the UV. So in U they have Ultra Street Fighter 4, which is the first time that Street Fighter is in a 3D style but still with a 2D kind of like perspective, right? And it's really cool. Street Fighter 4 is a really cool game. I never played the Ultra version though. Umbrella Corps, which is some kind of Resident Evil action-packed game. I never played it. I don't know if I want to. Well, we'll see. Maybe. Alright, now we have Uncharted. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. The second episode, probably one of the best. Well, I guess everybody would say every single one of the best. But it's an adventure game. It's really cool. I really love playing it because I really love the beginning of this game. It's very intense. And I love the intensity of it. What else? Yes, this one will be on PS Plus for sure. Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. The beginning of this one is much more quieter in my opinion, but it's also tried to go into the past and then the present and the past. Or at least that's what I think it does if I remember properly. Anyway, Uncharted 3 will be available on PlayStation Plus. Probably a great game to play. I never finished it and I actually never did a video about it, but maybe one of these days I can do that. And finally, the original Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Alright, now next is Under Night in Birth Exilate, which is a fighting game. I never played it, but I heard some fun stuff about it. Next is Until Dawn. Amazing the graphics of this game is amazing. I was always like surprised by playing it. I found it so cool. I didn't play that long, I just played the prologue, which is scary when you think about it. But I love it. I think it's very interesting. I need to play it one of these days and really finish it and understand like what really happened. Because you don't really know what really happened. And obviously with the Quarry coming up soon, I will be very excited to play Until Dawn and compare it with the Quarry. And Until Dawn will still be available on PlayStation Plus, if I'm not wrong. So you can still play it on PlayStation Plus. Alright, next is Unturned, whatever that is. It's an open world survival sandbox. Urban Trial Freestyle. Seems to be a motorcycle game. Urban Trial Freestyle game, okay. Next, Vegas Party. The name says it all. It's as if you're playing poker and stuff like that. Game. Velocibox. I don't know what it is about, but it seems to be like using some kind of interface that looks like rays and all those kind of stuff. Seems fun to try. Velocity 2X. Seems to be more like an action game. Velocity Ultra. Shoot them up. Okay. This one. Okay, it's like a platformer game with some puzzle elements. Looks like it. I think this one was available on BlackNet if you want to play it on the platform. Victor Vran, Overkill Edition. This one is funny because it's available on Stadia as well. If you want to play it on Cloud Gaming, and I think it's also available on BlackNet. I don't know much about this one actually. But yeah. Vikings, Wolves of Midgard. I don't know much about this one either. It seems to be an action game. Chronicle, the first sign. Okay, so it's a hidden object adventure game. That's the stats I was looking for when I was talking about the stats that I said. It's like a broad page. And that's the last one on UNB, so let's finish with WNZ. Alright, the last stretch, everybody. Wakeboarding HD. No clue about what that is, but it looks like a sport game where you're not skateboarding, you're... How do they name that? Boarding on the water. Anyway. Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr. It's an action RPG. Warhammer Vermintide 2. It's also an action RPG. I think that's the one that I played on Xbox Game Pass. But I played it as no commentary game previews, so you're probably not gonna see it. Anyway. It seems interesting. It was fun to play. Warlords. Don't know what that is about. Seems to be some kind of strategy. I don't know. Okay. Warriors All Stars. So it takes all the Shadow Warrior stuff and all those other Warriors games that was created by Koei. Warriors Orochi 3. Okay, I guess it's similar. Warriors Legends of Troy. Probably an action game. It's funny how many Warriors we did. Huh. Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. So Wastelands 2 is kind of like an RPG game. Watch Dogs 2, which it's an open world adventure game from Ubisoft. I never played it before. Way of the Samurai 3. From the name, I can guess that it's probably an action game. Way of the Samurai 4. Werewolf the Apocalypse of Blood. I think this one will stay because it just came on the PlayStation Now, like basically last month or 2 months ago. So I'm sure it's gonna be still available. Wet, which is apparently a Bethesda game. Third-person shooter. What a name for it though. Alright, when Vikings attack. Seems to be like a simulation game or something. I don't know. Whispering Willows, which I think is kind of like a adventure action puzzle. Okay, a 2D adventure puzzle game. That seems cool. I need to play it one of these days. White Knight Chronicles International Edition. It's an RPG. I always wanted to play it. It's a level 5 game. I hope that they will keep it. Anyway, we'll see. Wild Arms 3, which by the way is supposed to be on PlayStation Plus from what they say, so it should be there, it should be back. It's just one of the Wild Arms games, and it's an RPG. Wild Guns Reloaded. Wild Guns is an interesting game. It's kind of like a first-person shooter, but like 2D game, first-person shooter, so it's very different from the shooters that you know nowadays. It's more like the rail shooter in a sort, French type. Anyway. Windbound. Never played this one. I know it's available also on Stadia, but it seems interesting. Like you just have to live alone into an island and all that stuff. Wizardry. Labyrinth of Lost Souls. Wizardry is very popular. It's like an RPG game. It's popular from the past, like a dungeon crawler in an RPG style. I will have to try it out one of these days. Wolfenstein: The New Order. Yes, it's a not sequel, but it's a renewal of a Wolfenstein franchise FPS from Bethesda. It seems pretty cool from what I saw. Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, which is a standalone prequel, as you can see here. World to the West. I never heard of this one. I guess it's an action game. WRC 10, which I think we had that not that long ago. I'm not sure. Wreckfest, which apparently is a racing game as well. Wupo, which I don't know what it is about, probably a puzzle game. X-Blade, Cod and Brio is a visual novel. Interesting. I didn't even realize that there was a visual novel like that on PlayStation now. Oh well. XCOM 2, which is a very famous strategy RPG game. It seems really cool to play. I will need to play it one of these days. I never realized that it's done with skulls of humans. Head skulls. XCOM and Me Within, same thing, is a tactical RPG, strategy RPG game. Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z, which is part of the Ninja Gaiden franchise, so it works the same way. It's like an action game. I never played it. Yet another Zombie Defense HD. I don't know what that is exactly. I assume it's kind of like a simulation game. Zack Zero, which is an action game. Zen Pinball 2, Zen Pinball Classics, with multiple type of pinballs. Cigarette, which is a dungeon crawler, first-person shooter. Oh, interesting. Zombie Tycoon 2, Brainhoff's Revenge. I don't know what that is. So you have to fight hordes of zombies, apparently. Most likely some kind of FPS, but rail shooting one. Zombie Vikings. I'm not sure what it means with the gunner font. But it's done by people who did the stick it to the brain, stick it to the man. And finally, Zotrix, which is a classic shoot 'em up game from what it shows here. Alright, that's it. We did the whole PlayStation Now collection before it's gone. Before it's gone and replaced by PlayStation Plus Premium. I'm very curious what's gonna be there, what's not gonna be there, what's gonna be added. It will be very interesting to me. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be there on June 13th to actually test it straight off the bat. So I'm probably gonna have to wait a little bit of days to actually enjoy it and see the differences. But I hope that all of those videos will help you see the differences between the PlayStation Now, what used to be the PlayStation Now, and what's becoming the PlayStation Plus Premium. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching all those videos about PlayStation Now. I hope that it was an interesting set of videos for you to actually watch. I know that my commentaries are not that interesting on most of those games because I never played most of those games. But I do hope that gives you the idea of how many games there were, because there were a lot. When you think about it, it was a lot of games, and that's what's so exciting about it. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching Tasso Show. If you like my show, please subscribe, thumbs up, like please like my videos, and see you all soon. Toss out. Bye bye everyone.